This is an important fact. Raccoons have a keen ability to figure things out.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan, and we're matching.
We're matchies.
Yeah. Getting us It's Too Early shirts was only an excuse for us to wear matching outfits.
That's right. Let me tell you something. You know that particular smell when you open up a bunch of print-on-demand merchandise in a room?
Uh-huh.
This whole room smells like that right now.
Yeah.
It's got that smell of like fresh ink and cotton fibers.
Yep.
And
sure
it's
does.
and it's good.
This merch, not available to you. Only this piece is.
This
Just for us.
you keep your mouth shut.
This only for the besties.
That's sorry. Get wrecked.
Sorry.
Buy a hat. PixelCircus.store.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
But not this day.
What is hat but shirt for head?
These are nice.
They are nice.
That's nice beanie.
It's good. This is
embroidered?
It's embroidered.
It's fancy. I did buy a hat. Okay, hey, thanks, Jelly. And hey, everybody, I got my nose pierced. Look at me.
She did.
Look, I got one here and I got one here. Tell me I'm cute.
Tell her she's cute.
You have permission to.
Yeah.
Usually people get banned for that. You have a one-time use special permission to tell me I'm cute.
Tell her she's cute.
So you better. Thank you.
Swear to God, if you don't tell her she's cute,
Thank you very much.
it's gonna be a whole thing.
Thank you. Did producer we gotta make Dagger a shirt.
Oh. Yeah, that's true. We should make Dagger a shirt.
Dagger a shirt. I gotta look up if that's a thing.
It's definitely a thing.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Oh,
We'll get producer Dagger a shirt. You're right. We really did exclude a member of the team.
Did I tell you that I opened my door the other day and there was a little gift outside?
Why does this happen to you?
There was a little gift outside. I don't know.
But the fact that it's anonymous is what's weird about it.
Well, there was a little gift.
Uh-huh.
This one wasn't anonymous. Sometimes I just get weird stuff. Like I have a plant.
Yeah.
Somebody just left a plant at my door once. One time somebody left a bag of white dress shirts in my size. And now I just have a bunch of extra white dress shirts.
Very weird.
I don't know why these things are happening. But there was a little package and it wasn't for me. It was for producer Dagger.
Oh.
It was a little gift for him.
Oh.
From the dog next door.
Oh.
A little Yorkie named Harvey. A little Yorkie named Harvey who loves Dagger and Dagger does not like.
That's about right.
Dagger does not like other dogs because Dagger's a producer. He's a professional.
Right.
It's like child actors. They don't know how to deal with other children. Dagger is a dog actor.
Not so loud, Anthony.
Dagger is a dog producer. He only wants to deal with other responsible adults.
Uh-huh.
And so they gave him a little pouch of salmon skins, which are like his favorite treat.
Oh.
So I immediately went online and I got Harvey a gift from Dagger.
Of course.
Dagger got Harvey because his parents are elder emos.
Nice.
And so
Respect.
I got him a Skellington onesie.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And so now they're friends. And I thought to myself, this must be what it's like for my friends who have kids, where the kids don't actually care.
Yeah.
It's just
a show of something between you two.
Yeah, the parents are doing something where it's like, will we be friends one day? And it's like, yeah, maybe we'll be friends one day.
Maybe.
Let's feel this out. But it was very lovely. It was very lovely of them.
I looked, our merch store doesn't offer dog shirts. We'll have to change that.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
get there. I will custom print him one if I have to. You know, I have a cricket. I can make shirts.
Like a little...
Yep.
Like a pet cricket?
Yeah, they rub their legs together.
And do you remember?
Just like that.
Do you remember the?
They say.
Do you remember the animated? I don't know if they still show them on TV, but there was an animated special about like a cricket named Chester, and he would play like He'd play like Christmas songs, and he had a friend who was like a stray dog. Do you remember these?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
It's vaguely familiar, right? It's like...
Miss Reapers wants to know, was Harvey the one on the stream once? No.
No, Harvey's never appeared on the stream. Harvey's never appeared anywhere.
What was dog's name that was on stream? Why did it head empty?
That's Griffin.
Griffin.
That's Griffin.
That was Griffin.
And when you ask him anything, he goes, I'm Griffin.
A real sweet guy.
Griffin's very sweet, very high energy.
We love Griffin.
Griffin was a lot, and we love him
Griffin
for
was
it.
A baby. Griffin's just a baby. But
just
hey,
a little baby man.
You might have showed up for a news show today.
And we might have showed up to do a news show today.
But
unfortunately,
why did there's nothing. But unfortunately, instead, it's Purgatory week.
Listen, it's the slowest anything week of the year. So, like,
we're just vibing today, honestly. That audio, yeah. It's very good, isn't it? Was it very loud?
Listen, as we've said before, graphic design is our passion.
Yeah, so we do have a couple pieces of news, but I really do mean a couple.
Yeah, just a couple.
Like, just a couple.
Like, okay, so I was looking for news last night.
Yeah.
And there wasn't any.
I
found some, we found some, but do you know what I found instead? Mm-hmm. I found out that Jay Aubrey, his latest YouTube documentary is about the Duggars.
Oh.
And particularly Josh Duggar. And one of the things... I know
all about this already.
Yeah, and one of the things that I found out is the actual name of the curriculum for the fundamentalist homeschooling. And there is a blog that has all of the workbooks up, like puts them all up so you can read them.
Like, I'm just wondering what the name of that blog is.
I might have it up in a tab.
Just out of curiosity, what that blog is called.
Yeah, I might have it up in a tab. But it's, homeschoolersanonymous.wordpress.com.
Drop it.
And they have the Wisdom Booklet Archive.
Can I show them your screen?
Yeah, of course. This is the Wisdom Booklet Archive. This is all of this. This is the homeschooling curriculum that is done for like incredibly fundamentalist families who don't want to send their kids to school. Now there are different levels of this.
Yeah.
The Duggars were at like the most fundamentalist level of this.
Now there's a lot of people in our audience who are not as garbage as we are.
Yeah, they're not
asking, who the fuck are the Duggars?
You're either not American, right, or you are not digging through the trash with your tiny paws like we do.
So if I remember correctly, now I never watched this show, but originally the Duggars were John and Kate plus 8, right?
No,
different.
That was a different family.
Which ones were they?
They were 19 kids and counting or something like that.
Oh, they were 19 kids and counting. That's right. Sorry, it wasn't John and Kate.
Though during their first special for Discovery, they were 14 kids and pregnant again, and that was their first special. And they had so many kids, like that was their whole thing. They were good Christians who had so many kids, and how do they do it?
Are they Mormons?
They are.
Are they Mormon?
There's something.
20 kids sounds.
They had so many kids that the smaller kids were assigned to teams and the older kids raised them. So your parents were there, but it was mostly an older sibling who was like basically parentalized and
they call themselves independent Baptists.
Yeah. So is
that mom okay?
No.
The thing is, she wasn't okay to begin with. Yeah.
So they're from the IBLP. The IBLP has these workbooks, and like these workbooks, like, do we want to show a little of this workbook?
Do we?
I don't know. So they're called wisdom booklets.
Oh God.
And the wisdom booklets all start off with a wisdom, with things that take Bible information and put it into the regular world. So we've got delighting in the beauty of a woman without thoughts of immorality is not lust. That's point number 1. A man cannot be blamed for the first look at a woman. It is the second look that becomes lust. Once a couple is married, they cannot be guilty of lust towards one another. And a rich man has different lusts than a poor man.
Can we put a pin in that one? Can we talk about that one? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the random unnecessary classism there?
Oh man. So when you go through what they try to
What does that
do,
have to do with Jesus?
they try to put in, apparently these books are a month worth of curriculum. And so they start with like history lessons, but then they tie it into like other things. So they start with history and then they go into like, when does wishing become fantasizing? Agree with God that sensual thoughts are wrong. But then like they'll go through all this stuff. And what I've noticed is they do like a practical application part of it.
Oh.
So it's like, go out into the world and do something. So they talk about the fall of the civilization of the Incas, and they talk about how it's like godlessness and lust that killed the Incans.
Woof.
Yeah. But then I believe this one is about like, the practical application is go out onto your parents' land, because all of this is done by people who live on their own. And,
yes.
you know, go out onto your parents' land and trap an animal. See what it's like to trap an animal, and see what it's like to put bait out for an animal, and how how you can gently guide an animal by using its wants against it, and blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, it's like, hey, think about it. Aren't indecent women using bait against you? And shouldn't you guard against that? Aren't you just like a squirrel in the hunter's trap? There's another one here where they use two graphs, and these kids, this is the only education they get, right? So this is, these kids get like two graphs. One is crime rate in the United States, Saige. Crime rate in the United States and how it rises. And then what they show you is they show the number of divorces over the last century. And they say, don't you think that being unfaithful probably is connected to the crime rate? Don't you think that divorce is probably...
In what way? Like, if people get divorced, they commit more crimes?
Yeah, don't you think that probably like... Look, what we're saying is this happened, and we're not going to teach you that correlation isn't causation, because that ruins religion.
Actually, that's everything.
We actually can't do that. But then here's the part where they talk about the trappers. Do trappers illustrate the enticements which Satan uses to appeal to our lusts?
Yes.
Yes. It's freaking wild. So yeah.
Hey, I'm trappers.
Hey, there's something that's true though. This is an important fact. Raccoons have a keen ability to figure things out. Listen, not everything is wrong. That's why it's so insidious, is there's some truth mixed in.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Is it's like, but we can agree that raccoons are keen and have the ability to figure things out. Yes. Then clearly my education was not bullshit. Clearly. These things are wild. If you have the time and the inclination, check out all of these fucking things, because they're amazing.
But keep them away from children.
They still call them venereal diseases. And they talk about how you get venereal diseases and how they're a punishment. There's one that talks about gangrene. And they talk about gangrene and like, if you have a friend that is a poisoned friend, you have to cut them out of your life. If they don't believe all the teachings, you have to cut them out. Otherwise, the entire community will be destroyed.
Is it pronounced gangrene?
Yeah, it's gangrene.
I've been pronouncing it like the group of villains from the Powerpuff Girls my whole life, gangrene.
Yeah, the gangrene gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, gangrene.
The gangrene gang.
Yeah.
I was a child, so it was gangrene gang.
Gangrene gang gang.
Gangrene.
Gangrene gang gang. But yeah, look, And we're not saying that every spiritual organization is as dangerous as this one. Certainly not.
Sure, but religion in schools is always going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
Religion can't be a part of fundamental teaching. It should be a choice. It's not indoctrinating children.
And that's why these people pull their kids out of schools. And they're like, hey, we're the parents and we know what's best. And, states have these very loose requirements for homeschooling.
Yeah.
So much so that they can throw 3 math problems in and be like, hey, can you read this graph about divorce? What does it mean? Like, this axis means this and this axis means this. If you get divorced, God hates you. And the state looks at it and they go, well, they taught him graphs.
Here's my spicy hot take. As someone who was homeschooled, I was homeschooled from first grade on. So I went to first grade in public school, and then everything after that, I was homeschooled, and I went through every different kind of homeschool program, online, like completely separate. I think homeschooling should, for the most part, be illegal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there is an important part of school from home for accessibility that is super important, and a thing that we've developed much more through the pandemic because unfortunately people were not paying attention to the needs of people beforehand, and then they were like, well, if everybody needs it. So I think there's an important level of accessibility in school from home that is not homeschooled by a parent or by any like religious leader or anything that isn't a teacher. Think about the amount of like degrees that a teacher has to have to work in a school library.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Masters, dude.
Yeah, and I mean that's totally it. Is a parent? Most parents would say, well, I have to call the plumber because I don't know enough about plumbing to fix this. But a lot of these parents will be like, well, I have to call the plumber because I don't know enough to fix this, but I can teach my child every subject.
And like they give you these books. So like how homeschooling works, for those of you who are not or have never seen really homeschooling firsthand.
It's mostly workbooks about raccoons.
You're given a child workbook and then you're given the teacher book. And they just read the book to you about how to do the thing.
So then what happens, I mean, and here's the big question is you've got a practice test and an answer key.
Yeah.
If you don't understand why the answer is the way it is, and the answer key doesn't give an explanation that you understand, you and your parent both look at it and go,
right. And that's if you have a parent that's really trying.
Yeah.
Like for me, I know that I have dyscalculia, so math was hard for me. My mother just didn't teach me math because she probably also has that. Math was hard for her, so she just didn't teach me math. Like it just didn't happen at like almost at all. Once I got beyond like 3rd, 4th grade, she was just like, fucking good luck, man.
Look,
I read out of the answer keys and I did my best to be like, well, let's try and guess how that got there.
And now we charge too little for t-shirts. Once again, is correlation causation? Not always, but sometimes.
We charge too little for t-shirts because I don't believe in money. That's different.
That's different.
Because I believe
the children
too early t-shirts
are our future.
Are a right and not a privilege.
Teach them poorly. And let them do whatever.
Anthony, BB Mini Mishies are a right, not a privilege.
BB Mini Mishies are a right, but only for another 3 days.
That's true.
And then the BB Mini Mishies go away. They go into their little media nooks. They go into their media nooks and they go, and they sleep for another year until they sleep for 6 months until E3.
And that's because right now we're coming up on the end of the year, but currently we're in. Why does Purgatory? There's nothing.
Which is why we spent so much time talking about what we just talked about. But I will say I did find something else on the internet, Saige.
Anthony, one day we'll get to the news.
One day but there's so little news.
There's like one big news.
There's so little. You want to talk about little? What about these tiny little Sega consoles?
Say little.
There's a little news.
Hey Johnny, good morning. You came in right at our Purgatory Week graphic. Professionals.
What's
going on here, buddy?
These are tiny little versions of every console Sega ever made.
Are they like his clip size?
They're like
his clip size?
They're like hit clip size. They're like 1/6 scale. and you get one of every. There's the Sega Mark III.
Do they do anything?
Yeah, they exist.
Okay. They're just like little plastic.
Yeah.
Like 3D printed tiny consoles.
Look at that. It comes with the 32X.
Hey, Anthony,
Yeah,
we could 3D print those.
we could, but I don't think they'd look this good.
I think they would. I'm starting this year with a whole level of audacity. Kaylee and I have been going back and forth about this. I think I can build a table.
You can build a table.
I could build a table.
You can absolutely build a table.
It's flat. How hard can it be?
No, table easy.
Right?
Table easiest build.
A table for playing games at.
Yeah.
For new studio.
Oh, that table. No, you can't build that table.
I think I can.
No, you can't build
How
that
hard can
table.
it be?
No. You want like a fancy gaming table? Or do you want just like a flat table that fits us all?
I want it shaped cool,
Yeah,
but it should be flat on top for cameras anyways.
Yeah, you could probably build that table.
I could build that table.
You could build that table. I thought you were talking about like a fancy gaming table.
No, because those aren't practical for filming.
No.
Those aren't practical for filming. But Anthony,
Saige.
one of the BBs sent me a jigsaw. I got power tools now.
She just found out she owns a screwdriver.
I just got a screwdriver. I have a pink little toolkit now.
I know you do.
I'm buckling down. I'm ready.
Do you have a drill yet? Can I bring?
Yeah.
Can I bring my drill home?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got it. That's what I asked my mother for the holiday.
I love that.
Got me a
Almost as
drill.
much as I love this tiny Sonic the Hedgehog cartridge. Imagine how small.
I'm imagining.
So tiny.
Okay.
Little Saturn.
What?
Little Sega Saturn. Don't worry, Saige. They make a Nintendo ones too.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Show me.
Here's every Famicom they ever made,
Ooh, that's fun.
including
Show me Tiny Twin Famicom.
including the Sharp Twin Famicom.
Yeah.
The greatest.
The two different editions of the twin.
Yeah, there was well, Sharp made a twin Famicom, and then somebody else made a Famicom that had the disk system built in. But there were also two Sharp twin Famicoms.
Yeah.
One was black and blue, and then this one was the original Famicom Red.
Yeah, that one.
There's the family computer, but that one comes with the keyboard because that's the one that does basic programming and a little tape drive, so you can save your Excitebike tracks onto tape.
Oh shit. Honestly, should we just get a full size one of
Look at this, how tiny.
That's tiny. That's little.
Saige, can I tell you what went in my head the second I found these?
What?
Eat them. But second, number two,
And then after that?
after number two, because first was like so small, eat it. Nom, nom, nom. But number two was, what if, because they have various collections of these things. I went down a rabbit hole.
Of course you did.
They have modern consoles. They have every PlayStation. They have classic electronics. Like they have the first JVC camcorder, like Michael J. Fox had in Back to the Future. And I thought
like they'd crunch like the gum that comes in the little like foil packs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where they like
have a crunchy outside, and then like maybe there's just like a little bit of a liquid, but not too much.
like
Just a
gummy
little.
in it.
Yeah.
Not liquid, gum.
So I looked at them all and I thought, what if I got them all? And then I got shadow boxes and I made a little wall museum. Like I made them little plaques.
I think it's very cool. It's pretty good, dude.
Like it's pretty good,
Like,
right?
it's pretty good.
Like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like if we were in Japan, these things would be like 75 cents out of a gacha machine.
Yeah, 100%. But they're not. They're on eBay here for $100.
For $100.
Yeah.
Which is just another reason we have to do It's Too Early Japan next year.
It's Too Early Japan.
If everybody buys 2,000 t-shirts because of the way we've priced them,
Which again, not these. You can't
have these.
They're ours.
If everybody buys 2,000 t-shirts, we can send one of us to Japan. The way we priced our merch.
Right. Again, look, Anthony, it's a right and not a privilege.
I know. And here's the thing. Sometimes it hurts to be on the vanguard of generosity. And yet we stay on the vanguard of generosity.
Okay, let's talk about the big news.
The Super Famicoms?
Let's let's talk about the big news.
Oh, the big news. Who's caked up? Whose cake of the week is that? Why? It's the 14th Doctor.
Why, it's the 14th Doctor.
The 14th Doctor, the first to ever do squats.
Now, I want to point out this video is entirely intentional. They mention it in the video, which is why I feel comfortable objectifying the 14th Doctor.
Kuti Gatwa. Gatwa? More like got one. Because he got that cake.
The cake of the week goes to the 14th Doctor. Obviously, that is not the only piece of big Doctor Who news.
There's a little bit of an echo on your laptop, as per usual. Yeah.
Yeah. It always turns itself back on.
That's so weird.
And I can't fix it until we're back on that scene.
Now, look, is that the most important Doctor Who video that was released this week? Yes.
Would you pull up the other one?
There is another one that's fine. It's fine. Is it as important? No. Can I find it? Possibly.
I believe in you, Anthony. You can do it. It's not just bigger on the inside.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Oh, that's true.
That was a wild post. Honestly, look, they know exactly what they're doing, and I love that. I do. I love that.
Folks, we got it. The trailer for the 60th anniversary Doctor specials, focusing on 10.
Sometimes I think there's something missing. Like I had something
Oh, she's back.
gone.
Best companion,
I don't know who I am.
Best Doctor.
best Doctor,
It's just beginning. Worldwide premiere.
perfectly fine dude.
Who are they?
Little guys.
We got little guys.
But if destiny exists, then it is heading for Donna Noble.
Open fire!
If she ever remembers me, she will die.
Ooh, baby.
I'm overwhelmed. This is so incredible.
Someone tell me what the
And there he is.
Oh my God. That is a perfect trailer. Like in every way. One, it's perfectly Doctor Who in the way that they paced it. I don't feel like Doctor Who normally does that good of trailers. That's a perfect Doctor Who trailer.
Yes, it is.
Two, how did David Tennant not age, nor did Donna? They look the exact same.
Now, yes, number one, yes. If
Oh my God.
If anything, David Tennant looks like a little thinner and a little more tan. How did that happen?
How did that happen?
How did that happen? But also, like, it just makes me feel good because, like, Russell T Davies, he knew what the best combo was, and he's
Now-
bringing them back.
Now, personally, I will say it's not my favorite combo. I will say it's up there though.
Sure.
First for me is Tennant and Rose. That's my combo. But then it's Donna and Tennant, obviously.
Yeah.
Incredible combo, fantastic. But it's very interesting too because like in Doctor Who, there's a lot of threads, and there's always I feel like they pull a thread and they're like, we might come back to this. We'll see what you guys think of it.
Yeah.
And then there's a thread they pull. They're like, we're gonna come back to this constantly. Like we're
Constantly.
never gonna let you get a break from it. Like you thought it was fun. I promise we can make it not fun for you anymore.
Yeah. There's no way you're going to like River Song as much when we end this as you did in the beginning.
Exactly thinking of
There's
song.
no way.
And they were like, the Cybermen, not a mystery inside about the Cybermen. You'll know everything.
Yeah.
You'll
Is
get
it
all the Cybermen
Is it
you ever want.
heartbreaking in the moment, but then if you think about it, it's kind of ridiculous and it's not cool anymore.
But I didn't expect this at all. Donna?
I didn't either.
Who could have?
I didn't either. And when I saw like you watched it before me, and you were
I
like,
just texted you screaming.
and you were like, "Did you watch it? Did you watch it?" I was like, "No, I have to watch it. I haven't watched it yet." And you were like, "It's so good, you have to watch it." And I think you also said, "How does he not age?" And then
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, She's there.
I specifically didn't say anything about Donna when I texted you, of course, because I don't know if you had seen the trailer yet.
Because I'm the
biggest Donna
fan.
Yeah.
I love Donna Noble so much. There's nothing, a show that for 50 years, 60 now, a show that for 60 years has been about, come with me, you've been listening for the call of adventure your entire life, I will bring it to you. The idea of spending 5 years with a character who's like, fuck you, adventure. No, absolutely not. Eat shit. No,
I don't want to.
No, I don't want to do this again. Why do you keep picking me up in your weird space box? This sucks.
But also, I mean, like, look, I'm sorry, it is spoilers for Doctor Who. There were a couple of people that hadn't seen it, or somebody that was like, hey, is this a good time to get in? The start of a new Doctor is always a great time to get in. Watch an episode, see if you like it, then start back from Eccleston, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, this is fun, like, go back and get it, because it's a bunch of very, very rich, very, very good content. Unfortunately, the actor that played Donna's dad has passed away, so he would not be able to be in this special.
Yeah, I think that's why we saw Donna's mom more in this than we ever have, because unfortunately the actor has passed. Or grandmother or mother or something. Yeah, but he's not around anymore.
Yeah.
He's not around anymore, which is sad.
It's just so much of it, I don't know what to do. That's fair. And you can also take it in like chunks. Because here's the thing. For instance, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I can tell you, I haven't seen all of Capaldi. I watched the first season of Capaldi. It exhausted me. I stopped.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You can just do that. The thing about Doctor Who is it is in some ways non-linear, and in some ways, like, things will come back up and it'll get explained to you.
So every Doctor has, I mean, at least in the modern shows, every Doctor has a through line. Mm-hmm. So there are episodes that speak directly to that through line, and then there are a lot of Monster of the Week, Mystery of the Week episodes. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of watch guides out there, but personally, you can start probably like Saige was saying, you can start from Christopher Eccleston, who was the beginning of the modern shows. Mm-hmm. His first few episodes his first episode is trash.
It's just cheesy and ridiculous.
It's really bad. And if you watch, I know a lot of people that watched it.
I still love that season.
I know a lot of people that watched it and went, woof.
Yeah.
And bounced out. If you stick around for a couple more, it figures itself out and it becomes very good. A lot of people skip Eccleston and go straight to David Tennant, which
I disagree with,
but I guess you can. A lot of people do.
David Tennant's my doctor, but
it's a TV show. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's, but I think the best thing you could do is find like a watch guide and then be like, okay, I'm going to start with this Doctor, watch the important episodes, see if I like it. And the thing is, like, if you don't like a Doctor, sometimes you can swap to the next Doctor, and you'll like the show. Mm-hmm. Like, that's kind of the weird thing about Doctor Who.
For me, watching Doctor Who was watching and going, oh my God, I can't believe they're going to change actors. How will I ever like another actor in this role? And then David Tennant showing up and going, never mind. Actually, I was wrong. This is Doctor Who. And then keeping there forever, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, look. And then I stayed there and was like, well, I never will like anyone as much as I
You're
like
always gonna have your favorite. I'm a Five guy. Like, I'm a burger and fry. I like the Fifth Doctor because I grew up watching the Fifth Doctor with my dad. But I think 10 is the best because it's just a mix of best actor, best writing, best storylines.
Perfect.
I like Matt Smith. I thought he was very charming. I think his biggest issue was they were still writing for David Tennant for a lot of it.
I think his biggest issue is he didn't have Russell T Davies, but
that's true.
I think
Russell T Davies left. Stephen Moffat took over. Stephen Moffat was still writing for I think David Tennant for a good amount of those episodes, and also Matt Smith stayed for a long time.
Now, I don't feel like Matt Smith really overstayed. It was Capaldi that overstayed for me.
Capaldi should have been great and wasn't, because I think with Capaldi it became, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
It was two dudes who are friends who were like, well, let's just make a TV show together. So it was Stephen Moffat running the show.
Yeah.
And then his buddy Peter Capaldi, and they're like, yeah, let's just do the show. What do you want to do? And it's like, wouldn't it be fun if I just got to play my guitar all the time because I like playing guitar? And And it's like, would it?
Okay, yeah.
Would it?
Jodie Whittaker is brilliant, but she got terrible script, sadly. Agreed.
Now, Jodie Whittaker, I think some of her scripts are very good. And
I've only seen a few episodes. I need to go back and watch Jodie. That's my plan before this.
I think some of them are very good. Some of them are very like,
Yeah.
some of them are trying real hard. Some of them are trying like a little too hard to atone maybe for some stuff that Doctor Who has done in the past.
Yeah.
Particularly the episode where they meet Rosa Parks was a little on the nose for me, but she was very good. And I think what they were trying to do with her was pull it back down into personal stories because it became such a like, what if I was riding a dinosaur to fight a robot Hitler with Winston Churchill and there were 87,000 robots and they were all shooting, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's fun. You have $13 to make this show, but I guess that's fun. And pulling it back down into sci-fi where like it all kind of means something with Jodie Whittaker, I think was cool. The episode with the planet where everybody works for Amazon, that's such a good episode.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch. I can't promise I'll go back through Capaldi. I just also know where I'm like, I think Peter Capaldi is an incredibly talented actor. But I know what I want out of the Doctor. And that is never going to reconcile at the end of the day, where it's like, hey, this is not a Peter Capaldi's a bad Doctor. It's Peter Capaldi is not what I very personally want from the Doctor. I like somebody that's a little more like lighthearted and fun, and I like the energy of Doctor Who. And
Peter Capaldi's Doctor is like your friend's cranky dad who has like a jukebox that he wants to show you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has like a classic jukebox and he's like, he wants to show you his classic jukebox for 45 minutes and then he's mean to everybody.
Yeah. I don't really like dads.
Yeah.
So, and that, you know, it's great. If you love Peter Capaldi, I love that for you. But I'd be more interested personally in going back
His
and watching
fucking
Jodie
Sonic
Whittaker.
sunglasses because he's just an old guy who wants to be cool. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just hit me the wrong way. It hit me the wrong way, but I love Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I'm so fucking excited about this. I'm going to cherish every moment that we have with David Tennant as an absolute Tennant simp. I'm going to cherish every moment that we have with Donna Noble. I'm so excited about that. That looks incredible. And God, just that little button at the end of what's going on here was such a perfect moment to introduce the new Doctor.
Yes.
I'm so excited about it.
It's going to be very, very good. It's going to be very, very good. But Saige, do you know what people are saying is not very, very good?
What is it, Anthony?
It's The Witcher Blood Origin. Have you watched The Witcher Blood Origin?
I have not. What's so funny is like I was a pretty big fan of The Witcher show.
Yeah.
And I'm not caught up on it. And then I saw this on Netflix and I was like, oh shit, it came out? I did that.
Yeah, it was.
And I was
It's
like, wow, nobody's talking about it.
well, and the people that are talking about it are unfortunately not saying great things, Saige. The Witcher Blood Origin is now sitting at a 33% critic rating and a 10% audience rating.
That's so bad.
Now, normally if I see a 10% audience rating on a gigantic show, I think to myself, oh, you hate this for some sort of political reason.
Is it getting review bombed? Are they
Right.
hating a particular character? Are there a bunch of fucking like racist assholes review bombing it?
But then I see it matched up with a low critic rating, and when that happens, there's usually something to it. And what most people are saying about The Witcher Blood Origin is it's very surface level. They're not doing much with it. Everybody's sort of underused, including Michelle Yeoh is very underused.
God, imagine having Michelle Yeoh and then being like,
And they're just and
not
they're
getting the most.
they're just not doing much with it. Now the critics that do like it say that it's doing a lot of heavy lifting to set up the larger world of The Witcher for Netflix, because obviously they have a lot of spin-offs in the works. They want to make sure The Witcher is a franchise and not just
But
about
here's
Geralt.
the thing, if you use the second show, like the second show is a big point of buy-in to where you expand from series to franchise. And obviously, we know it's already a franchise. We've played the games, there's the books. But for a lot of people, the Witcher series on Netflix was their first introduction to it. To non-gamers, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So that second series, that first spinoff is a huge point of trust that people are going to take because they liked your first show. And using that exclusively as a like, we're just going to use this as setup is such a waste. And it's how you don't become a franchise because people are like, well, I really only liked the one thing.
And I haven't seen it, I haven't watched it yet, so I can't comment, but I will say this, there is we have seen where the shared universe is the big deal in media. It's been the big deal in media for the last, 13, 14 years. And so everybody wants to build that 360 IP, that IP that can be multiple TV shows and a movie and an animated series and all this stuff. And sometimes in the rush for that, it's like you get a movie or a series that's just like quick. Introduce every possible character, secret society, rule, basic, explain everything. And it's like, explain it, but take your time. Like, one of the things people like about worlds is world building. And if you don't have time for world building properly, then I would argue that you don't have time to start a franchise.
Yeah. Red Wolf said it was basically a Vesemir prequel. And like, by the pitch of it, it's very appealing to me. This is the story of the first Witcher. I think that that's very cool. How the Witcher was created. In theory, I'm very into that. But it is easy to fuck that up too, unfortunately. When so much of the show does rely on the Witchers being this kind of like mysterious thing and this like dated thing that like is almost a burden that it still exists to everyone. And
you would think that telling the story of the first Witcher would be a good bookend for that, because if you're the first Witcher, then obviously it's still a fringe thing that society doesn't understand.
Right.
But apparently they are rushing to Witcherville. They are on their way to you know how I always joke around about how I don't want the Witcher anymore? I wanted them to just skip to the Witchist.
Yeah.
Apparently they're doing that.
Which is weird because it's a prequel. You can't get to the Witchist if you're going on a prequel.
It's the Witchist. A lot of people in the live studio audience agreeing with the critics. People are saying they have watched it and it's not great, but a lot of people are mentioning the other big release that Netflix had this week. That is the #1 film on Netflix right now and deserves it.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
Glass Onion, everybody.
Glass
I haven't got a chance to watch it.
So fucking good. Do you know what
watch it tonight?
Do you know what one of the best parts of Glass Onion is?
I don't know if you should tell me because I haven't seen it.
No, it's okay. You're going to like this.
Okay.
It's the Ben Shapiro Twitter review of Glass Onion.
Oh, I did see that actually.
He's mad because there's a character in there that's kind of a Ben Shapiro like media type.
That's funny.
And he got mad and he wanted to, and his first tweet is like, absolutely terrible writing. It sets up the first half as nothing but misdirection and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, my dude, it's a mystery movie. It's a mystery movie based on mystery games. Like,
that's so funny. That's so funny. I'm very excited to watch it. I went to, in LA right now, Netflix loves to do these experiences. They did the Stranger Things one. They did the Bridgerton one. They have a Glass Onion one in LA.
Did you go?
I did. Can I be honest with you, Anthony? Terrible.
Now, you are the second person to tell me. Well, actually, a friend of the show, Elise Willems, went and said it was small. There wasn't much to it.
I thought it was absolute trash. Like, it was genuinely so bad that I was like, wow, maybe this movie won't be good.
The movie wasn't like
very good. I think the movie was in theaters at the time when I went. I went like very, very early. It might have even been the first night of it.
Yeah.
And
because that was right around. Everybody was going the same week as like Willow stuff for me. Yeah. Okay.
So I went, and there are only 3 rooms. And they don't give you almost any instructions. And the people working there don't want to be there.
So it was like an escape room thing.
I've done a good amount of escape rooms and like immersive theater stuff, and I love that shit.
Yeah.
But people get randomly selected to be out and then can't participate really anymore. In room 1, 2 people. It's just like you go behind the scenes and you can like press buttons to help or hurt the people in there, but that's it. It's just like, it's wild, but genuinely, it's just the 3 rooms, and it's just like, hey, can you do a puzzle? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, can you do it in 2 seconds? And you're like, I can't, actually. I definitively cannot do this puzzle in 2 seconds. Why did I only have 2 seconds? And they were like, wow, guess you suck. And we were like, oh, okay.
Well,
damn.
Well, I'll tell you this. The movie, much better than The Escape Room, unless you're Ben Shapiro. My favorite tweet about it was Mike Drucker, who was like, was like, my uncle said that he got my nose, and then it turned out that he did not actually have my nose.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable. Thread 1 of 526. It's just
Very
like,
funny.
come on.
Alonzo in the live studio audience said, I need to watch Knives Out. I just can't handle the Trumpy family. It's really not. That's
not.
actually not how it comes across at all.
No.
I wouldn't consider that a reasonable comparison to them.
Looking back on it, because of the culture at the time, if you hadn't seen it, you would think that it's a Trumpy family, but it's not.
It's definitively not.
He started writing it immediately after people started harassing him about The Last Jedi, and it's more about entitlement than anything else.
Yeah.
So it's not
a great
Trumpy.
criticism of classism. Is great. It's very good.
Yeah, they're mostly more of like a traditional New England old money family.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it being Trumpy. But watch that and then watch Glass Onion because it's very good.
I think I'll watch Glass Onion tonight. I think I'll try to watch it tonight.
You should. It's very
I'm
good.
very excited about it. I'm just behind on everything.
There is a funny fucking thing. There are so many little references to other things in it that aren't like nudge, nudge, wink, wink, look at this reference. But one of them, when you're watching,
Yeah.
just really look at Ed Norton's wardrobe. Just look at Ed Norton's character's wardrobe and see if
A lot of
anything
people are
pops.
saying that.
See if anything pops into your head. That's
A lot
all
of
I'll
people are
say.
saying that.
That's all I'll say.
Very, very interesting. Y'all, I wish that I could make an amendment to my favorites of the year. Would Glass Onion have made your favorites of the year if we'd done it after?
Maybe. Well, so for movies and TV, it would be tough.
Yeah.
That's the thing is there's so many good movies and TV this year
Yeah.
that like, I'll tell you what, I like RRR a little less after their fucking copyright claim against us. I'll tell you what, like, if you want to talk about like my 3 faves of the year being Everything Everywhere, RRR, and Severance, I don't think that can
shake that
change.
list.
I don't think that can change.
Mine, I would have.
Even though RRR blocked our episode in literally every country in the world, but didn't copyright strike us, so we couldn't go through a standard copyright dispute, they simply said, your video is cleared to show in everywhere except these countries, and then listed every country that YouTube was in, which is a longer and more arduous process to dispute.
It's been fun.
Even though all we were doing was showing their publicly available trailer as B-roll to praising their movie and getting people to watch it, which is why they released the trailer.
And then you've got people in our comments who are like, what's going on? What's happening? Why is the episode short? And I'm just like, hey, everybody.
It's because RRR hates us.
Settle down.
I still love the movie,
Settle down. We're on it. We're doing our best.
but they hate us.
We're trying. We're doing our very best here. I'm going to need you to pinky low. But I would have put Barbarian on mine.
I thought you would have.
I would have put Barbarian
I thought
on mine.
you would
I
have.
watched it the night after the episode, and I would have.
I thought you would have. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. It's good movie, and it's good
Yeah.
horror movie, which is your thing. But you know what else is going to be good movie and probably will not send anybody any takedowns about any media leading up to the movie, and everything's probably going to be fine and we don't have to worry about it. Is the Super Mario movie. Sure. And the Super Mario movie, hey, listen, once again, if we could just remind you what week it is before we do this story.
Mm-hmm.
Why does There's nothing.
And that's why this is news.
We have the Super Mario Brothers movie toys that are coming to Happy Meals. And the only reason I put this in is because number 1, it's Purgatory week. But number 2, I'd like to show you there's a Luma Lee, which means there are Lumas in the movie, which means
Rosalina's gonna be there. What did I say? When we watched the trailer, we were talking about it. I was like, man, it would be cool if Rosalina was there. God, she better be tall.
oh God,
She better be
she's gonna be
tall.
so tall, and then she's always hovering 6 inches higher.
Ugh.
And that's the thing is we were talking about how she was talking about in the trailer. Peach talks about how there are so many other worlds.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Take me to space.
Like obviously, Donkey Kong's world is a world, and so it's like, well, how are they getting there? And obviously, Rosalina's gonna be there, dog.
I love Rosalina and Luma so much. I am such a big fan. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good.
That's a nice little tease there.
And I hope Rosalina's in it, and I hope that they save her full story for one of the sequels. I hope they don't try to shove Rosalina's whole backstory in, because this should be about Mario and Peach and Luigi and Toad and the Mushroom Kingdom. You know, and then Donkey Kong's getting his own movie.
Yeah.
I would like the story of Rosalina to be its own movie, because I think that's a very sweet story.
I don't know that we'll get it, because I just don't know that she's like a prevalent enough character.
I don't know if it'll be.
I'd love to watch it.
I don't think a full Rosalina movie, but I
You
think
think a Mario movie centered around like the story in the way that this one's the Mushroom Kingdom, that one being like Rosalina.
yeah, and we get the backstory
Galaxy.
of the lonely little girl who finds the lonely little Luma. Like that's such a good. It's such
so
a
good.
It's
I love
the little.
it so much.
It's the Little Prince of Mario games, and I love that.
I don't know how we would get it if she's in this, because that would be a prequel and Mario's just coming in.
Well, because remember, by the time Mario finds Rosalina in Mario Galaxy, she is Rosalina, and we hear the story in flashback.
Yeah.
In a storybook.
So you think we'll maybe get it in a
So I think,
flashback?
I think we'll get her origin told in a story of the two of them.
I mean, that would be very cool. That would be very, very cool, and I'd like that very much.
Yeah. And what we will be getting in each of these movies is a heaping helping of Chris Pratt's very good accent. Let's get out of here. Hey, Mario. And he's Chris. Chris, can we get another line reading of that? Yeah. What's the? Can you tell me what this word is, guys? Yeah, that's spaghetti. Piscetti. Can we get one more? Piscetti. All right, one more. Piscetti. We'll take it.
All right.
We'll take it. Moving on. Moving on.
Sure.
This
Both of us keep looking at the spreadsheet and being like,
this story in particular. Now, okay. There's a lot of Marvel stuff going on.
real quick, everybody, what's the worst Marvel show
Ever.
ever? That includes all the Marvel shows.
Not the Lou Ferrigno Incredible Hulk. It has to be from current.
Yeah, let's say Netflix through Disney Plus.
Ooh, Inhumans. That's true. But Demo Nacho got it. It's actually, I guess, the second worst, which is Iron Fist.
Which a lot of people came in with Iron Fist after. Yeah, universally, Iron Fist was pretty hated. It was not a show anyone enjoyed.
Hey, can we get a quick mods? Can we get a quick ban to whoever said WandaVision? Can we shadow ban that person from Twitch forever? Mods, can we put that person in a capsule and lower them into a well? Mods? What are the mods commands? Piscetti.
Exclamation point Piscetti.
Exclamation point Piscetti. Get out of here.
Anyways, WandaVision fucking owns. Get wrecked. But Iron Fist just pretty objectively did not.
Yeah, was not great. And one of the things that people did not enjoy about it was the actual casting of the Iron Fist, Finn Jones. Now, Finn Jones was talking in interviews to some people who asked him about the Iron Fist, and I'll say this: he gave the best answer that I think anybody could give. He said, they were like, would you go back to your role? And he said, of course I would. I had so much fun. I got to work with Vincent D'Onofrio. I got to work with Charlie Cox, and I got to do all this stuff, and I would love to come back, but and I would love to prove people wrong. He said, "There's nothing I love more than proving people that I could do something when they think that I can't, and I think I could go back and I could do a better job with it."
Hey, question.
Yeah,
Then why didn't you the first time?
interesting, but
Nothing I love more than proving people wrong.
but
I would have to disagree.
also he did say this. But even though I would come back, I think the Iron Fist of the MCU should be Jessica Henwick. Colleen Wing should come back and be the Iron Fist.
Yes.
Absolutely. He's like, I would come and do a Heroes for Hire with Mike Coulter. Mm-hmm. He's like, I would love to do a Danny Rand and Luke Cage series. He's like, but I think the Iron Fist should be Colleen Wing. And I'm like, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Very good response. Very good choice made there.
Yeah. And that was the problem that a lot of people had. And this was one of those things where we really came up against, it was really a perfect storm of like racism for the sake of racism, but then also hardcore traditionalist fans who wanted the character that they knew
right
when it comes to Danny Rand. And the idea was like, hey, should Danny Rand be the Iron Fist? Should this be the story?
Right.
And I think in the MCU, they were smart to say, nah, it's not about Iron Fist. We're going to raise Shang-Chi up.
Right. Which
Shang-Chi has his own problems with his origins and being written by white guys and being about, the entire, kind of exploitation of Asian film in the 60s. But they were like, this is an Asian man from an Asian community. If we're going to tell an Asian story, why wouldn't we do that?
Did you see the stuff about Simu Liu?
He's not great. Yeah, I know.
I just learned.
I know.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he's not great. So
about Simu, I just learned.
Allegedly, Simu Liu is not the best. But when we were talking about Danny Rand, it was like, well, does Danny Rand have to be white? Why? Why does he have to be white?
Definitively doesn't.
Why didn't they just find somebody? And like, that's the issue, is like, it became one of those things where it's like, but part of the whole story is Danny doesn't know anything about this. I was like, hey, do you think every Asian American knows the history of Asia and Asian mysticism and can fight? Because now you're being just as racist. to say that an Asian American has to immediately be born knowing martial arts.
Right.
Like, no.
No.
It's
the only
actually
answer is he's white.
Yeah.
That's all we could possibly do.
And I thought there was such a deeper story to be told, because I love a story about, people coming to terms with who they are in their history when they're disconnected from it.
Absolutely.
We love, an immigrant story, I think, told the right way is some of my favorite stuff, because my grandparents came here, and I love that stuff. And I think, the story of somebody growing up in the world of wealthy America and figuring out that they have this whole other history is a very interesting story. Whereas rich guy crashes plane, doesn't care about anything, and becomes better martial artist than anybody else.
Yeah.
It's just the Dances with Wolves, Fern Gully avatar.
Yeah. And dichotic, the answer is no. Moving on. No, that's a bad argument, and that's a bad faith argument, and that's where we get to a point where it's like, no, you can specify that you want a character to be black. You can specify that you want a character to be East Asian. You can specify that you want a character to be many things, and it's not racist.
And the reason why it's a bad argument, in case you're coming from a place of genuinely not knowing, and you're not just making a bad faith argument, is this was a character that was sort of this was a colonialized character. Mm-hmm. This is a white savior character. Mm-hmm. This is a white man finds a secret Asian society, and it turns out he's better than all of them at what they've done for thousands of years.
Correct.
That's why in this case, no, you're right. The Iron Fist could be any race, but in the TV show about his origin or her origin or their origin, cannot be white.
Correct. There's a lot of stories too where like race should be specified, and like that's important to their character. If it is any character where they're playing with heritage, where they're talking about, communities, it matters. And it's not racist to specify who that should be portrayed by an actor. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Skywalker gives a great example. It's like Black Panther. Like, imagine being like, it's racist to say Black Panther should be black.
Which a lot of corners of the internet tried to do.
So like, hey, BBs, it's you and me right now. We're all here together. We know this community. Don't align yourself with those corners. You know what I mean? But don't align yourself with those corners. I want to point out two great things that
taste great together.
No.
You got your peanut butter and my chocolate?
I could go get us a bunch of Reese's, and I will in a moment. Ernie Cooper said two things. One was been banging a lonely drum that Danny Rand should be Indian. I'm not familiar enough with the comics, but I would be very curious to hear what the like ties and culture are there, because I've never read an Iron Fist comic. I don't know shit about it. I didn't even watch the show because everybody was like, it's terrible. I don't know a damn thing other than the mistakes. But there was a second thing.
Yeah.
Nick. Which is keep men off Reddit.
Sure.
Ernie Cooper's second statement was keep men off Reddit. And I couldn't agree more.
Look, don't enter any pipelines on the internet. Don't take any weird pipelines. Don't do it.
Don't know what we're talking about. You can Google it, but Simu Liu was, there's some screenshots, and a lot of people were saying it had been debunked, and it hasn't, and it seems to be essentially confirmed. We're going to put a light confirmation on it, that he was previously a part of some really terrifying like incel subreddits, and posted some really horrifying things about women. So yeah, keep men off Reddit.
Yeah, wow. Anyway, but here's what's wild. Finn Jones seems perfectly lovely. It's just a shame he was a bad Iron Fist.
Sure. Sure. It's fine. I don't know.
I want to talk about...
Can I another one quick thing while we're still on Marvel, actually?
Sure.
Do you know Marvel didn't say a goddamn thing for Hanukkah? I know. I'm sorry, actually. So much of Disney did. Disney crushed it this year.
Yeah.
They did a bunch of playlists that were like Disney Plus, here's a collection of Hanukkah specials. They did a bunch of really cool fucking shit for it. And there were a couple of things, but the funniest one to me, there's a great TikToker who I will link in our Discord, because I don't remember her username right now, but that went through a roundup of how companies represented like Hanukkah versus Christmas this year. Mm-hmm. Now, Funny Girl on Broadway, currently starring Leah Michele, Goy, is about a Jewish woman.
Right.
Was originated by a Jewish woman, has been played up to this point by primarily Jewish women,
right,
until Leah Michele stepped in, which is very funny. And this is what they posted.
All of them could read.
Coincidence? I think not. They posted this instead of Happy Hanukkah on the first night of Hanukkah. They said Happy Holidays.
This reminds me of like the 2010s Urban Outfitters like culture of t-shirts that said things like "holla at your girl."
I'm not your girlfriend.
And I'm just like, but holla at your girl.
Exactly.
And it's just like,
then it was Nacho.
Oh, Nacho. Yeah. But it was just like, there was a lot of like that weird stuff. And this is,
look at this.
And she's doing the jazz hands.
She's doing the jazz hands. There's a couple of things.
Like
One,
if I was going to make a parody for like 30 Rock 10 years ago, it would have been this. It would have been this image.
It's so funny because like they made her outfit blue that's not blue. They did not say Happy Hanukkah. But also challah is not part of Hanukkah tradition. It's just a Jewish food.
Yeah, there will be one day on Hanukkah that you have challah because it's Shabbat, not because it's Hanukkah.
Exactly.
It's like, not there. It's not like Happy Honda Days. We're not like Honda Days. Is they're selling Hondas at a cheap price every day of Honda Days.
Not traditionally part of our.
We're not eating challah every day.
But it's also like there's other holidays that challah is specifically like associated with. Of like breaking fast with challah, but like it's not Hanukkah. So that's pretty funny that they just simply couldn't say it. There we go. Here we go. Like, where was this for Rosh Hashanah, right? All the comments are just like, what are you doing? Oh boy, the Glomer at it again. It's pretty funny. It's all pretty funny. It's pretty bad though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But
is that Leah Michele? It is. It is Leah Michele.
It is Leah Michele.
You can tell by the hatred in her eyes.
Saige.
Anthony, why?
We got to talk about it, Saige.
Why are we doing this?
We got to talk about it, Saige.
What are we doing?
We got to talk about the anime AI TikTok filter.
The anime AI TikTok filter has been used in many fun ways right now. One is people walking around different places and like empty rooms to see if there's a ghost in it. Those have been some of my favorites. Putting them on their cats to see if they turn into cat girls.
My favorite one is just like the anime filter that it just aggressively, like weirdly misgenders people. And they're just like, why is this happening to me?
Wild.
Why is this happening to me? And they're like, you'll watch somebody be like, okay, what if I draw a mustache on? And it's like, nah, you're a pretty princess. It's like, okay, I've drawn a full beard on with Sharpie. And it's like, no. And then there are people who are trying to like, okay, what if I put 2 cereal bowls in front of me? Will you acknowledge that I'm an anime waifu if I give you 2 cereal bowls on my chest? Is that what you need to see?
So people have really gone to lengths to figure out how to get the big anime titties. And they've done it. The solution that everybody figured out was taking their fist, putting it closest to the camera, and anime titty every time. Every time.
This whole article is not even working on my thing. But it's been so funny to watch. Like people will put them in front of like a chair. People will put them in front of a broom.
Yeah.
People will put them in front of like. It's hilarious. I think Polygon unfortunately is only highlighting women who are doing it and not like women who are doing it to other objects and things. But some of the best ones are like, oh, that's a guy trying to give himself
here we go
abs by putting a waffle on his stomach.
Hold on. This one was very fun.
It's the fucking stick in the back of the pants that's like that gets me. If this works, I swear, if this works.
I haven't seen this one.
It worked!
It
worked!
Anyways, it's an AI filter that is supposed to create an anime version of you.
And it's doing a poor job, but there is one where I saw the one you're talking about, where a woman who works at an old hospital was like taking around looking for ghosts.
Yeah, she was like, I work at a hospice facility, and like walked around taking like photos of empty
Oh my God,
rooms.
wait, that last one's very good.
Okay, hold on. I didn't watch it, so.
Wait, if it did what I think it did. Yeah. Listen, on one level, the AI is going to do terrible things. On another level, it's just too dumb.
It's just too dumb.
It's just too dumb. How could it possibly do anything? It's just too dumb.
Simply too dumb.
Bless its heart, it's just too dumb.
While we're talking about dumb shit the internet's doing, this is my favorite internet moment of the week. Anthony, have you seen this? Have you seen Waffle House Woman?
I mean, listen, I've seen a lot of things at a Waffle House. I grew up in Central Florida.
Okay. I keep forgetting there's a fucking echo on mine. Hold on, I'm going to fix it this time. I keep using mine and then not fixing it. So apologies. Now it's fixed. Are you ready, Anthony?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to put a little audio on just for us.
Whoa. Look, listen. Waffle House employees are ready to either fight or stop a fight. If you go to a Waffle House, you're going to be eating a 5-star breakfast until a fight either breaks out around you or at you, or you start a fight and you don't know why. That's the Waffle House. And so I am not surprised.
Look at the technique here. She Captain America's that shit, man.
She simply deflects her energy. Is she the Iron Fist?
I think she might be, honestly. Look at this shit. You can tell the way she's grabbed onto it. She's literally just like, huh.
I would not be shocked if the rest of this clip was her swinging it back around and just redirecting that energy. Like right at that dude.
When you watch it slowly, the way that she grabs onto that, like you see where her hand is fucking wild. And like unfazed, ready to fucking go.
Listen.
The tweet that's been going around with that is, this is Waffle House employee training at its finest.
I love it.
She's trained for that moment. She's done this before.
It's in the handbook.
Right?
It's in the handbook.
Wild. Now, I've never been to a Waffle House.
Oh, Saige, let me tell you something. Not only is the food terrible, the atmosphere is disgusting, and the people are awful. The jukebox filled with terrible songs that are about the Waffle House. And what I like to do, go to the Waffle House.
Uh-huh.
I haven't gone to a Waffle House in fucking so many years. But you go to a Waffle House drunk.
Okay.
You order their super cheap 5-star breakfast, which is like waffle, everything is like, it's fine. And you take like a roll of quarters and you play just the same themed Waffle House song over and over and over again. And you don't leave. Like the move is usually you do something like that and then you leave, right? I like to do it and then stick around and eat. And just be like, no, I did this on purpose. I enjoy this song. Now what are you going to do?
That's so funny. Now, Jafrika said, Saige, you would love it. And there's a bunch of people being like, you have to blow over a 0.5 to get in. The only excuse to get in is if you're drunk. The only reason to go to a Waffle House. So over the summer, I was in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
First of all, congrats.
Bad time, don't go there. If you don't know, Stone Mountain is like Mount Rushmore, but it's all Confederates.
Oh,
That's what Stone Mountain
I'm sorry.
is.
First of all, congrats.
It's wild. They do a light show on the mountain.
Ooh, how big a mountain?
I didn't go see it while I was there. I only heard the tales of it, so I couldn't give you a size. But it's there, and it exists, and it's what the town's named after, is Stone Mountain. And I was there for a shoot, and everything in Stone Mountain closes at like 6 p.m.
No, that tracks.
So we would wrap up for the day, and we were starving. And we had one day an Uber driver come and pick us up, and they were supposed to drive us. There was a Waffle House right across the street, like right across the street. So we were just getting picked up because it was raining to be taken to a Waffle House. And the Waffle House was even closed by like 8 or 9.
The Waffle House?
The Waffle House closed by like 8 or 9. And this guy just drove us around looking for food. He was just like, nah, it's fine. I'm with you guys until you find something. Don't worry about it. Greatest Uber driver I've ever had in my life. Just was like, we're figuring this out. We're finding food. And then by the time we finally found a place, we were like, do you want to come and eat with us, man? He was like, I'm a vegan. I got to get home. And we were like, sure thing, dude.
Like, wow. That's
Coolest
a good
fucking guy.
That's a good dude.
Coolest fucking guy. Just was
The
like,
Stone
it's cool.
Mountain, the Stone Mountain Monument is large.
Horrifying.
It's horrifyingly large. It's apparently
I'm not
getting
showing it.
No, we're not showing it, but it is on the list for demolition. It is getting torn down, and it's getting a new thing.
Get wrecked.
Wow. What a weird place. I think I've shot in some weird places, but it's always weird when you're in one of those places where it's like, no, everything's closed. And you're like, what do you mean? It's like, what would we do?
I'm like,
There's like one bar that's open and everybody's getting rowdy. Like,
ended up at Chili's.
hell yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, it was an Applebee's. I was incorrect. It was an
Hell yeah.
Applebee's. And it's very clear that it was like very much a community gathering space. It was the only place that was open. So when me and my friend from the shoot walked in, everybody stopped. They were all laughing and talking. They all stopped and looked at us, and we were like, can I get some chicken tenders? Please?
Please, just some chicky tendies.
Just a little chicken tender. I'm so hungry.
Please, I don't mean.
Last night we ate from the gas station because we couldn't find this Applebee's.
I just want to bring up something that's been happening to people that you reminded me of. In the game High on Life, there's Space Applebee's, and it literally says Space Applebee's, and it's the same logo as Applebee's. And
It's like a little bit of a cop on Fantasy TGA Fridays, but interesting. Okay.
yeah, it's fine. They stole it from us, and they'll be hearing Justin Roiland. You'll be hearing from our lawyer. But there is Space Applebee's, and there was a bug where people couldn't get out of Space Applebee's.
There's also usually bugs in Applebee's.
There's a lot of bugs in Applebee's. In my neighborhood Applebee's, which is where I'm going down a rabbit hole in my brain here, but follow me.
We're not getting to the rest of this news.
What news? There was
The funny part is there was so little news and we didn't get to it all.
What news?
No news. Don't worry about it.
There was a tweet that was going around that was like, what was your family's celebration restaurant that you thought was high class, and then when you were an adult, you realized wasn't?
The Sizzler.
Mine was the Applebee's. when something went really right in life, we either went to Applebee's or Miami Subs, and I got to get a full-size meatball sub for myself. But we went to the Applebee's, and the Applebee's had one of the tabletop, and this was like way too late for this to be the case. The Applebee's had one of those tabletop old school Nintendo Play Choice 10 machines.
Whoa.
And at this point I had like a PlayStation. But I remember going to the Applebee's for celebrations and being like so excited to just like get riblets and play slalom for the Nintendo. Like literally slalom for the NES.
That's so funny.
And I thought, I was just like, wow, something in my life, I did something real good. I get to have riblets and play slalom. What an exciting time to be alive.
Flatlander said, I hate to be all British and all, but what exactly is an Applebee's? I hear it several times, but I'm unaware of what niche it fills as a restaurant.
Ooh.
Okay. It's hard because I don't know what restaurant to compare it to for you, but essentially it is a like low-level family restaurant. It's like, I would put it in the category of Denny's, essentially.
Yeah, it's a little nicer than Denny's. It's
not nicer than Denny's,
it's
really.
what's
It's
called-
just there's like less of that.
It's what's called fast casual dining in the United States.
Like Red Robin, if you have those, that feels also very American.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, it would be
Like
a Chili's. I would say like it would be
If
an
you have
Applebee's,
Chili's.
a Chili's, a TGI Fridays. I'm trying to think of like what British. You don't really have. I don't think you really have it.
More evening than Denny's, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. I love seeing all of your answers. If you're watching later on YouTube, let us know what was your family's "we're going to a nice dinner" that you realized was not a nice dinner. Mine was Sizzler.
Okay.
Hometown buffet.
People in Europe are saying Weatherspoons or Harvester.
Sound fancier. Very funny.
Harvester Weatherspoons is actually my favorite Charles Dickens novel.
TGI Fridays is a step up from Applebee's. It was like a big deal, and it was only when I was a little bit older that it was like, oh, we're going to fantasy TGI Fridays.
Oh yes, it's a JD Weatherspoons.
Oh,
It's a Weatherspoons.
and they're all fantasy TGI Fridays. To be clear, they're not real.
Yeah, this is, folks. We found it. Whoever said that.
That reminds me of like Rubies. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of Rubies.
We have so many of these in the States.
Yeah.
But you know,
Less cool than a Johnny Rockets.
but like some kind of like hints at upscale drinks for moms and dads.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
hinting at it.
Yeah, they want you to think it's a nice place to go to dinner, and we work like absolutely. We believed it.
Yeah. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like, I really did something right.
Yeah, we did Chili's occasionally. Never Applebee's. I don't think we really had Applebee's.
For dessert, all of these restaurants for dessert have like a microwave brownie with like a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top of it.
Oh, so hard.
Honestly, and it's
I
like,
want that right now so bad.
we should go after the show and get like we should go.
You want to go to like a Chili's or
We
something?
should go get like
I don't think we have an Applebee's.
Oh God, it's broken.
Why is it broken?
I don't know why it's broken.
Hold on.
That's the donation goal. Why is it broke?
Is that the right?
What happened?
What did happen?
Who knows?
Oh, wrong there.
There it is.
Which we didn't reset.
We didn't reset. But sugar breakfast.
I mean, you want to go get a little we're going to go to Chili's and get a sundae. We'll take a clip for you at the Patreon if we do.
Yeah. Hey, can I ask you something?
Sure, what's up, buddy?
When we log into Stream Elements,
Yeah.
who is the woman who is flexing her biceps every time you log into Stream Elements?
No one knows.
Does anybody, are any of y'all streamers? Have you seen this?
This is a very niche thing to ask of people.
A lot of people stream.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody knows.
Gotta get us logged back in so we can thank the BBs anyways.
There's this lady who flexes her biceps every time. Her name is Elspeth on Twitch.
And hey, good for Elspeth.
And she does
great.
she does have guns, but every time I log on to Stream Elements, it's like check out HelloFresh and this lady's guns.
And like, okay.
I'm like, all right, man.
Sure.
I don't know why.
Sometimes you get the buff dude too.
I never get the buff dude.
Refresh, see if you get the buff dude.
All right, maybe I'll get a buff dude this time.
Keep refreshing until you get the buff dude. Yeah,
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Sometimes you get buff dude as well.
Newt, it's all buff. It's buff people all the way down on
What's
Stream
up
Elements.
with that?
I don't know.
What is up with that?
I love it.
That's interesting.
Elspeth is apparently a voice actor with guns.
Hell yeah.
We love that for her. We love that.
Fixed it.
Fixed it. Hey, everybody.
Fixed it.
It's Purgatory week.
Why did you There's nothing.
So, be ready for, oh, she does TTRPG stuff and she has guns? Let's hit her up.
Very cool. Stream Elements has a type for sure. They just have like a bunch of buff people flexing and it's very, very funny. And you're trying to buff up their views. Hey,
the only person we have with like
International TGI Fridays is owned by, okay, Capital Av. Wow. You really did the deep dive here and I love that.
so because it's Purgatory week, this is what the show is.
This is it. Friday will also be another day of
Why did you There's nothing.
So, but we'll be here. We're not going anywhere.
Fatal the Baptist says, next year, will you be on the front page of Stream Elements? And the answer is no. It's going to take...
The answer is also no.
It's going to take a lot of time before we could be on Stream Elements. Actually, I'm okay. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
You look good, bud.
I'm doing all right. I fought a truck. I haven't been able to exercise in a while.
Did you get a tattoo or just the piercings? I did not get a tattoo yesterday. I did book an appointment to get a tattoo tomorrow.
I should book an appointment to get a tattoo.
You come with me?
Yeah, show me the artist. I want to see.
He's available because it's Purgatory week.
Why did you There's nothing.
But that's it. Does Anthony have any? No. No, it'll be your first tattoo. I'll take your first tattoo, bud.
I have ideas.
I thought you were gonna say I have ID. Like you have to show an ID when you get your tattoo.
You do.
You have to show. I have ID.
You have to show an ID.
You do.
You do. And you can't be drunk.
That's true. Well, that's the thinning of your blood. No, like truly, you'll bleed a lot. It's bad. Don't do that. But everybody, I went to a place yesterday. I woke up in the morning incredibly.
You went to a place?
I did.
It's big energy for 2022.
I know, right? So I woke up yesterday. And I've been waiting on an answer for something. There's something incredibly out of my control.
What just happened?
We're going to talk about that in a second, Obi.
I spaced
woke
out.
up.
What just happened? Wait.
Yeah. Welcome back, bud. We're going to talk about that in just a second. I woke up. There's a big decision that's like completely out of my control right now that I'm waiting on that's driving me fucking bananas. So I was like, I got to do something. So I started deep cleaning my closet. Mm-hmm. I took a bunch of clothes and donated them.
Yeah.
And then I went to a piercing shop. Walked in by myself because I wanted to convince myself and prove to myself that I could do it alone.
You didn't even have your mom with you?
No. I didn't have anybody with me. Kaylee's gone. So I went in all by myself and I was like, hey, I want a septum piercing. And they were like, okay. And then I was like, and this one too. And they were like, okay, come on. And then they stabbed me in the nose, Anthony.
Yeah.
And I messaged my tattoo artist and I said, put words on me, God damn it. And he said, okay.
All right. That's what I do. You don't need to be so aggressive about it.
Yeah. And then I was talking to my mother. Mm-hmm. Because we were talking, I sent her a picture of the piercing.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting.
She loved it. She loved it. It's only raised her opinion, brought you closer together. It's really strengthened the relationship, and everything happened the way you thought.
I look like a bull.
We want to thank everybody who supported us during the show today.
Especially Obi just now. My God. That was ridiculous. Absolutely bananas.
Now remember, when we say support, we don't mean all the ways that you can support us. There are lots of ways you can do that. You're here, you're watching, you're supporting us. Some people tweet out the show. That's very nice of you. Some people are in the Discord and they suggest stories. It's Purgatory week. That'd be double nice of you.
Very true.
Telling a friend about the show. That's a great thing to do. You can't buy one of these t-shirts, so eat shit. But you can get one of these hats.
By the way, we're not wearing the exact same t-shirt. Hold on.
No.
I understand.
No, this is 2 shirts.
But
We're not doing the fun thing where we pretend we're like one body
also
with
look
2
at the
heads.
crop top.
It's a crop top that you can't buy. Did you just hit dagger with your?
Was he below me?
Yes.
Why? I'm sorry.
But anyway, you can't.
Very light.
Anyway, you can't buy it. But go to pixelcircus.store and buy other things.